Correct weight.
We need to count those.
Want to see 3 here?
Did you guys watch the live stream at all?
No.
Couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. You?
I did.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. It is, but not 3 in the morning.
4.520.
Let's see.
Yeah, that one's done.
How much is it?
3,470.
What was most?
What did I say was most?
4,520.
4,520. Yeah.
Dipper, you remember yours? 2,015,000.
Yeah. And buttons and seats.
I have a one hand penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Raised out of penalty. Raised out of turn the last hand on last time. So,
Yep,
1 hand penalty, so
He was considering raising too before he did that.
Yeah.
but at the same time, so that 1 hand penalty is from yesterday. Reset, so.
Oh wow, he's out of jail.
The next one will be one again.
I don't plan on doing it again, so.
So this is the hitting while we put pen.
No, the first one's not a warning, is it?
Huh?
The first one's not a warning?
Never a warning.
Yeah, it's just one.
So the thing is, once we give those pen penalties out,
Got to say.
less likely that you ever do it ever again through that position. And we've seen
good
it
point.
happen.
Okay, so we're commencing at 125, 250.
Well,
100.
And just remember, you can't be on your phone as well, please.
Clock's already started.
Yeah, he just started.
100, 100, 200.
1, 2?
Yep.
Yeah, 100, 200.
2.2. Don't even look at it.
C8 range, 450.
morning.
Seat 9 is all in. 1 fault.
And it begins.
Welcome back to Brisbane
4 and 5 off.
as you see what remains of the final table here on this 7,500 buy-in event, and you join us just as
8 fold.
Dipper pushes all in. Gets his
What's up?
all in raised through. Harvey Silver here with you. And Braden Jinks next to me, who looks very refreshed.
Yeah.
And he got into Brisbane yesterday. It was obviously a bit of a rush and adapting, but looks like you've been here forever.
Yes, we needed a good. It's a big grand final day, so it's one of those days that takes a few days to recover from. But we're here now, we're settled in.
Nice early stream for us, depending on where you're watching around the world, I suppose. But it's 1:38 p.m. here, Brisbane time, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Very early for us to be on a stream.
It's as early as we've ever been.
But we didn't want to miss the end of this, and we wanted to bring this to you. Some great play, great stories yesterday in this Tlpt opening event from the Voco in Brisbane.
Jordan's going to be moving all in here basically as soon as the stream is on.
C5 is all in.
And he's going to be looked up very quickly by Kang. Second hand of the day, we're going to have an all-in confrontation.
C6 is all in.
Jordan
and C8.
yesterday, who could forget folding the tens correctly, but
all in for the TLPT opening event.
would have been close to the chip lead if he had have jammed, and he's still able to survive, but now he's in pretty grim shape versus Kang's Jacks. Jordan Westmorland
Jordan is at risk.
is at risk with the ace-2 of diamonds.
Flops. 7 of diamonds.
Does flop a
King of
flush draw
diamonds,
though.
3 of clubs.
Yeah. No.
Kang does have a diamond in his hand.
There's a deuce.
Adds an extra out for
More
Jordan
outs.
Westmoreland. Will need an ace,
Enough.
2 or a diamond to survive, and there it
At
is.
10 of diamonds. Jordan gets a full double up.
I don't know.
Jordan rivers the nuts.
Braden, I don't know what it is about you, but I reckon we're in for another one of those days.
Oh, it's very standard hand. It's just the run out. I mean, a third of the time we do win that hand, obviously, but Jordan.
You are the odds man.
Jordan has bobbed when he should bob and weave when he should weave. As I said yesterday, when he folded the tens versus the queens and ace king, obviously would have hit a 10. Didn't seem to phase him whatsoever, and here he is still in over 4.5 million chips now, 200k big blind. He's right back in it, and we had Angel in the booth last night, and Jordan was basically his pick. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to win a tournament such as this when Kahle Burns has got the amount of chips that he does, but Jordan Westmoreland's so experienced and gets the double he needs to be a chance to win. $200,000 up top here at the opening event at TLPT.
It's your last hand. You're on a 15-minute break.
As we did yesterday, and as we do with every event that we follow here, we mark down what we think potentially going to be the key hands for our highlights package.
4 folds.
We've already got one, 2 hands in today, because if Jordan finishes up making a run here, that's clearly going to be pivotal.
Oh, I mean that'll be in Thomas Ward's highlight reel, because obviously spinning it up from 0.3 big blinds and 0.6 big blinds on 2 different occasions. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of a action-packed highlight reel for Thomas will be able to take back home to New Zealand. As Mo's weighing up a jam over Jordan's raise here. We've seen Mo really being able to get after it, but this is probably just too far down the rung. Decides to fend the queen 7. Interesting.
Heads up.
We'll see a flop. This could get a little interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan checks this one back, which he does, and we'll see a turn now. There's a lot of funky turns we can, not one of them, but wouldn't be surprised to see this go check again. Bit of a wide defend from Dipper, and he's going to lead out.
9 bets, 300,000.
Jordan not going anywhere just yet.
Suit 5 call.
I think this might just be going check, check. Hands too good to bluff if we're Dipper. Jordan's got enough showdown value, and I don't really think he's going to go for value. Oh, I mean, Dipper's...
9 bets, 600,000.
Dipper goes 1/3 again. Not sure about this line. Let's see if Jordan can sniff it out. After we decide to check the flop, it's really hard to fold to 2 bets. Jordan's so experienced.
10 seconds.
So if you are just joining us for the first time and didn't tune in yesterday, those time bank chips are worth 30 seconds. So don't think that the player... we got slow rolled a few times yesterday thinking the player, whoever was throwing them, was calling, but the players don't have to throw those chips in. They get automatically taken, but just a habit from some players where Jordan just weighing up a call here. Not sure if Dipper thinks he's value betting or not, and gets Jordan Westmorland to fold the best hand. I think Dipper might have thought he was value betting there into a worse holding, and gets Jordan to fold the best hand as he sneaks back under 20 big blinds, and Dipper closing in on that amount too, picking up 800,000 there, closing in on 4 million chips. It's leaves Kang the shortest by far with 5 big blinds. Interesting hand there, bit of a wide defend from Dipper. But that's what we've been used to seeing on these APT streams in the last 12 months.
The big difference being that we're early on in the day. Dipper comes into his own late at night after he's had a few drinks and gets a bit looser. Dipper, of course, having unbelievable success at our APT up at the Southport Sharks.
Jordan, I love this open from Jordan. He's going to get right back on the bike, but he's going to run into the inevitable Dipper yet again. I don't think he'll be using any time bank chips here as he looks directly at us into the camera before he says all in.
Seconds.
1.3.
I love this from Dipper. A lot of the times we've probably just to be jamming the ace-king over an open, but a bit of a 3-bet to induce Jordan Westmorland. I really like that from Dipper. It's got some moves. Felt like 20 was just too much to jam, and finding Jordan's lightest open yet again. Of course, we did have value that time, but Dipper, in the space of 2 hands, has propelled himself back up into contention.
Dipper, who famously took whoever was still awake out for late night kebabs to celebrate his big win in Southport, because that was about the only thing that was open around there.
Many a poker player has been to that kebab shop after a late night at Southport Sharks.
Seat 9 raised for 400,000.
Let's see if the daylight hours suit him as well as the deep dark late night hours.
I think if let's just Kahle will defend here, but if Dipper wins this hand, I feel like that's 5 of 6 hands he's won whilst the stream has started. He obviously got that king queen suited shoved through. Interesting flop. Definitely see more chips go into the pot here at some point. No 9s left in the deck for Kahle either. As you see those outs up in the top right hand quarter do count the folded cards.
Seat 9, that's 450,000.
I suppose the
Dipper
fact
Dipper chooses a larger size here, just under half. Actually, Usually probably look to go a little bit smaller, and Kahle's already a little bit suspect of this. Probably can't fold his hand just yet. Kahle is one of the greats. He'll know better than you or I, and we will see a turn.
You can't help but thinking the fact that he has played and won so many hands in a row, Dipper, that also plays into his psyche that, hang on a sec, you can't keep having something every hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kahle picking up outs on the turn here, and
of course, if he's no good, he's not just going to chase it. But I mean, that's part of the posturing at the table, isn't it? That this image, this early image for Dipper works really well.
I'm interested to see what Dipper chooses to do here. We could opt for bet, knowing we only have 2 streets, but check is likely better, and Dipper does choose that. This is a spot that Jared Thatcher was in the booth and talked to us yesterday about that. If we identify pretty early our hand's only worth 2 streets, we can opt for that bigger bet on the turn and then check the river. And that was a spot that potentially we could do. That check's good too, I think, as well. And Dipper really playing well here at this final table so far. As Kahle is going to weigh up whether his hand is something that he would ever really start looking to bluff. After the turn goes check, check, we know our hand is likely no good. But let's see what Kahle does here. We're so lucky to be here in the booth and on stream watching one of the masters at work. Sometimes it's good for us to just sit back and watch. Opts for check, and Dipper will snap check this one back. Yeah.
So have a good go, but I actually think I'll call you because the repeated king.
Let's tune into Dipper. We love his post-hand analysis.
I said you bet 1.2. I'm going to call in my head.
Kahle giving Dipper absolutely nothing. Dipper wouldn't be used to that. Most people are fairly jovial and love talking to Dipper, but Kahle's all business here.
That's what you wish for.
Not giving absolutely anything away to anybody.
Little good run in the beginning. Right. You know about it when you won the race.
Even though Dipper probably would have called it, he's going to say that anyway because he wants the table to think that he's maybe a little looser than he actually is. He's not that loose, Dipper. He appears loose.
It's really funny, Harvey, you bring that up because I had Angel in the booth yesterday, and Angel's Reed hadn't really played much with Dipper. And watching the stream and playing with him in this event, Angel was of the opinion that Dipper was on the tighter side, playing more conservatively. And I said, Angel, you're probably one of the only people that's ever said that into the Australian poker scene.
Yeah.
As Kahle had as a mandatory jam here into Jordan. Good to fold. Pricey, good to see you in the chat. Hopefully see you at some point during the week. Hopefully you don't build up an epic stack and punt it into oblivion if you've got to go to work. So make sure you don't have a shift on and then come down and play. It's a pleasure to be up here and just being able to watch the masters at work. Kahle Burns. Very rarely, if ever, going to make the incorrect decision.
One hand.
It's not the first warning to Kang for that particular. Kahle moves all in yet again. Kang is quite short in the big blind. I think he's probably got 3 bigs behind. Oh no, so it's so he's got 2.5 bigs behind after he pays the big blind ante.
6 folds.
Kahle really putting the foot down now. So, Kahle Burns, obviously a Hall of Famer now, but one of the best exports of poker and that we've had for quite some time. It's amazing that we here at the APT can get on a stream and get some vision of him utilising a really large chip stack with $200,000 up top. I know there's a lot of footage of Kahle playing out there in Triton and all those type of things, but we're here at the APT in Brisbane and we get to watch one of the masters at work. It's fantastic.
Seat 9 raised 450,000.
Part of the reason we get to do this is this partnership with Tlpt and having some really big... Oh, hang on a sec. This,
Might cut you off there.
Cut me right off. The cards have a habit of doing that.
I think if you ever saw what Thomas Ward did yesterday, winning basically every all-in, in front, behind, it didn't matter. Kings versus aces, it didn't matter, and he's going to get looked up here by Dipper relatively quickly.
7-5.
Tens is just too much hand.
3,075,000. Why are you jamming all in for?
Dipper asking why Tom's jamming 3 million, but it is only 13 big blinds, and Dipper's already put in 2. He knows he probably just can't fold this one, and that is a... Is that a... Oh, like a call to me when he put the chips over the...
Nice, counting it out.
All for the players in the Voco Shop Club. This is your 2-minute call. Our call is about to recommence. Start taking your seats.
I mean, this would be some sort of fold, but I don't see it myself.
10 seconds.
Dipper throws in the time bank, of course. We keep reminding the players they don't have to do that. They get taken automatically.
I think they just do it so our dealer doesn't have to reach so far. I don't think this is an auto call at all for Dipper.
I mean, I think
Either
we're
got you
six-handed.
or we're flipping, which I don't really want to flip for 4 million.
Six-handed, tens is just so much hand for 13 big blinds. I can see why he's thinking of folding. It's really, really, really difficult to fold. I mean, if you have a think about, he's just going to bin this Dipper.
Bet, but it works.
Yeah. I just thought his body language showed that, and he did actually say it if you didn't pick it up in the audio, he did say we're flipping. He picked it, and I don't know if I want to flip for that much. So
maybe.
There's,
Would you have ace queen, ace king?
There's maybe a little bit more of a conservative side of Dipper that we don't often see. He's
there is $200,000 up top.
I understand, but I also understand that it's 2 in the afternoon and it's a different Dipper to midnight. So.
On a Monday.
What do I have?
Yeah, so I was saying, Jinxie, that this partnership with TLPT brought in some of these really, interesting higher buy-in events. We've got a 25k coming up this week. We've got a 15k coming up. So we're going to obviously see some huge money up top, but we've also been able to bring these really, really great players out for not just a great week of poker, but they really, are enjoying themselves here, getting looked after as Jordan gets the aces.
6 is all in.
Kang snap jammed this in with King 5 suited.
And seat 5 calls.
Goodness gracious.
And you're right, you can have me cross there.
And Kang for his last 2 big blinds.
Massive dog here.
He is. He might be a bigger dog than he thinks. A few of these outs could have been folded.
Kang has king 5 of diamonds. Kang is at risk.
We'll find that out soon. It's Jordan Westmorland.
Clubs. 4 clubs.
There's not much there for Kang. Backdoor diamonds.
Diamond. Interesting. Just to make it interesting.
There it is.
Kang does now have a flush draw.
6 of them left in the deck.
Black juice.
We do lose Kang in 6th place.
Very unlucky. Kang obviously lost the jacks to Jordan Westmorland's ace-2 suited in a spot that you're always getting your chips in, and obviously was never able to recover after that. That was the hand that was the hand of Kang's tournament.
So Kang Go has to go.
He does.
He became must go as opposed to Kang Go. Still picks up a very nice cash. And we go to five-handed now. Kang, one of our very many Chinese visitors here this week. Plays on the Lord Poker Tour. As you can see by that beautiful jacket, you can buy the Lord Poker jackets here at the APT, and I don't think they've got too many left, Braden. They're very popular. People
No, there was
wearing
none
them
left on the
everywhere.
table this morning.
There you go.
It's 5 remain here.
5 on.
$200,000 up top. With every player now guaranteed 46,900 as Mo puts in the Queen 10 suited.
35,000 for Kang, leaving us in 6th spot.
Really interested to see how Kahle proceeds here. I think going back to the Ace King versus 10s hand, another thing we have to consider there as well, if we're Dipper, which he obviously did by folding, is that Kang had 2 big blinds, so Thomas's range is really, really narrow.
5 on.
That's why he's ended up folding the 10s. And Tom just
8, 9 range.
has
4.
been inevitable this entire series, this entire tournament, as he should be putting this in. I think he will.
C1 is on. And 9 on.
So again, we have to remind you that yesterday in the early evening, Thomas had 10,000K left behind him.
Well, I don't think you were in the booth for what happened after. He got back down to that stack
Yes.
again.
No, I did. Well, I was watching. Yep.
0.6 of a big blind. Back up to this stack. It's one of the most incredible runs.
Yeah, you do see people rebuild their stacks, but you don't often see them rebuild it twice.
From 1/3 of a big blind, both times. Incredible. And Jared Thatcher in the booth with us yesterday, he goes, I know as commentators we shouldn't have any bias, but we're going to throw that out the window. We've got to get behind Tom.
Both guys holding the club there. Thomas though with the ace of clubs.
5 checks. One check.
And the club comes on the river, giving Thomas the nut flush.
300.
C5 at 300,000.
Actually, not the nut flush. The 3 of clubs would be a straight flush.
Sorry, you are correct.
I just noticed that myself.
Yes, yes.
Or 7 8 of clubs, which Jordan Westmorland has the 8 of clubs working.
C1 raised to 850,000.
Jordan will just snap in this.
Yeah.
Does block the super stone cold nuts in 7 8 of clubs, but that would be getting extremely spicy. It's funny here if we're Tom, we have the 3rd nuts and the 3 of clubs there, the 7 and 8 of clubs
Yeah.
as well. 7 3 of clubs.
Don't worry, it deceived me just looking at
Yeah.
it, you know, first up. Of course, there was the straight flush there both ways.
Both ways, yeah. 3 possible combinations of such.
Big week coming up here. Huge week coming up. We got a great taste of things on Friday with the State of Origin. Completely different atmosphere, very raucous, a lot of fun. Teams event that is definitely back on the calendar on the basis of the reception and the feedback that we've had to it.
Oh, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. Both Angel and Jared in the booth with us yesterday. You know, Angel suggested some changes here and there, and but the general consensus was the fact that poker being a very individual pursuit, for just once for the year they were able to throw some banner around and get behind other players and get behind a team. They loved it. They really did.
And I can understand some of the changes would probably be around structure, because there was, you know, probably for the poker player, there was some things that you could improve. But the other side of that, mate, you also need to take your viewing public into account, and some of the quirks in the structure actually made it very, very watchable. So it's just finding a balance between those two things, and the fact that, you know, it didn't go on forever. And any tournament that doesn't go on forever means that probably luck does become a bigger factor, and you don't have as much patience that, you know, that you can just sit and wait. I mean, it was incredibly frustrating for someone like Joe Hashim, who just got completely card dead, but because of the structure, he couldn't play his normal patient game, and in the end, he was furious. He had one hand basically for the whole table. He got a pair of kings, and no one called him.
I think
so. Yeah, interesting.
I think too. Angel did mention I think Mo's going to run straight into it
here. Okay.
How much? I'm probably not folding. I just want to make sure how much is.
Kahle announcing that he's probably not going to be folding this hand. And after he gets a count, he definitely won't be. And he does call Mo. Just chosen the King Six of Diamonds, trying to identify that Kahle opening extremely wide as that chip leader, but absolutely runs into it here. We do win it a third of the time, so let's see what happens.
Versus King Six of Spades.
This table.
Wow, so all of a sudden there's a straight draw to go with this.
King and nine or a four. Got that backdoor spade working as well.
Turns the ace of clubs.
Still winning this hand a third of the time. We'll see a river.
But it's a blank for Mo, and we lose Mo. Kahle picking up some huge chips, which, I mean, if he wasn't probably favourite sitting on this table, he has just vaulted into that. And well played, Mo. A really solid outing.
As we do lose one of our two remaining bracelet winners left. Mo obviously winning one of the most prestigious tournaments in the world, the 5K 6 Max at the WSOP. For 650,000, and we saw his talent on display late last night. Picking up chips where a lot of players wouldn't be able to pick them up, finding bluffs where a lot of players wouldn't usually find them either, and we saw, with the level of play that Mo showed, we saw how he really took down that 5K 6 Max at WSOP, but GG's to Mo. It was a great run. 46,900 for his efforts.
I think I have 3 mil.
People raised for 400,000.
Oops, I'm going back to healing like a fish.
5 odds. 9.
Easy defend here for Tom. Kahle now working with 50% of the chips in play four-handed. It's going to take some Herculean effort to, as we have.
One check.
There's an action flop for you.
We have a serious flop in our hands here. An open-ended straight draw and flush draw for Kahle. And top pair for Tom. Interesting to see how both players proceed here. We're always betting this if we're Kahle, but I feel like,
bets 325,000.
see if Tom comes with call. Just the way these stacks are distributed, you'd be surprised to see anything else. He does come with call. Six of hearts would be a dicey.
Oh, wow. I reckon that's an even spicier, isn't it? Even spicier.
This is interesting with the board pairing.
Yeah.
We have so much equity. It would really suck to bet fold this hand, and this is why this can be such a good job at times. We get to see exactly what one of the best in the world proceeds with here. Let's see what happens. I'm really interested to see how Kahle proceeds. Comes with check. And the king six of spades will hold up. Thomas weighing up what size to choose.
Seat 1 bets 1.4.
It feels like that's a very large, and it's a snap fold from Kahle. He comes with nearly full pot there, 80% pot. It's appeared to be about 1.4 million.
Can you explain to everyone why Tom doesn't bet there on the turn, picking up the 3 kings?
I mean, it's basically a spot that we're never betting, right? So we need to let our opponent, especially an opponent such as Kahle, to continue bluffing, and we want to keep all of those bluffs in. So once we just lead the turn on this card that really favours our opponent's range and not ours, we want to let them continue betting. And especially a player such as Kahle is going to be firing a lot of extra barrels on that turn with a lot of his hands, but not this hand specifically, because as I said, on the turn when Kahle's deciding it's a hand that really sucked to bet fold. And when we're out of position and how the function of that hand occurs, it's really not a spot that we'd ever look to lead. And we just basically want to keep Kahle's bluffs in and know that we're going to have to buckle. Know that we're probably going to have to buckle up and call down whatever Kahle comes with on the turn and river, but he just had too much equity. But there obviously there is an argument that there is definitely an argument that the king is better for Tom range too, which is probably right. But I still don't find in the general population it's a spot where players would be looking to lead, especially into someone as good as Kahle.
I suppose it's a bit more of a sort of interesting psyche for your more recreational players who would, generally feel that they're going to try and maximise their strength, in that position. I've now got 3 kings in my hand. I'm going to bet out. It's interesting that your more seasoned player is thinking more about ranges and letting your opponent hang himself if he's bluffing.
Yeah, I mean, like turn lead nodes.
Plays Chad Hazelwood.
Leading flops and turns is extremely difficult. Like we're really getting into the weeds and the complexity of how the intricacies of No Limit Hold'em work. And I've heard extremely good players that have been around for a long time. There's a saying that you could basically never lead a flop or a turn and still be a profitable player in the long run. Obviously, you need to know how to lead certain cards, but you're really getting into the weeds with, especially in a live Australian poker tournament. It's not something that you tend to see too often.
Seat 5 bets 200,000.
They've both picked up middle pair here. Because they have the same cards, of course they don't know that.
Seat 4 calls.
So another undercard, and both players probably thinking they're ahead at the moment. The pair of 8s.
This could be a spot that we spoke about before where we could still opt. We might feel like we have a 2-street at hand and opt for bet knowing we're going to check the most rivers.
Now that could be a really good one, couldn't it? Jeez, it's almost like, why don't we pull out the card that might give us the best action?
I'd love to see what Kahle comes with here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a larger size, but Kahle comes with check. It's obviously just going to get snapped off by Kahle, or depending on the size, I'm wondering if we could jam.
It's only 475.
Interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what Kahle comes with. I feel like he might feel that he's got a mandatory check raise. Double checks those cards. Yes, Kahle, he did river 2 pair. Let's see what the...
It is a time bank chip. That's not an all-in.
Yeah, it's just too strong to just call. A really interesting decision coming up here. It's one of those spots where we just sit back and watch how the best reacts to this river.
Four raised to 1.65 million.
Yes.
65 call.
We'll get a wry smile from both players, and we do.
One of the tank.
What's that wry smile mean? What a waste of time that was.
Everyone. It's usually it's the chop pot wry smile.
But it's not a happy smile. It's a waste of time smile, that one.
One time back.
I think you get a lot of wry smiles on a chop pot, which are, geez, whew, thanks.
Especially when the pot is worth a lot of actual real Australian dollars as well. I mean, we are playing for $200,000 here. Haven't seen Kahle show too much emotion. We got a smile out of him then.
One raised to 400,000.
Jordan Westmorland, obviously coming off his career high score in the $3,500 bet MGM Championship only about 2 months ago. Finds himself out here in Brisbane looking for a similar score, $200,000 AUD prize up top. We don't get to see Kahle Burns too much playing live in Australia. It's really good to see him here and all the other big names that we've got.
One bet's 350.
Dan Jungleman Cates showing his face early in the series as well. One of the best to ever do it.
C9 calls.
So we do have a pot brewing here. Not sure. Wouldn't be surprised to see another large turn barrel here from Tom. But let's see what he comes with. Love to see this from Tom. It's a hand we're going to be looking to barrel often on this board, and it's going to really put Dipper in the blender here.
Seat one bet's 850,000.
The deck's really providing us with some entertainment already thus far. Love to look to barrel these gutters, boards that favour us. Dipper's not a folder
C9 calls.
at the best of times. And he is a non-believer. We'll see a river. One of the 10s has been folded. I think this is a card that Thomas will be shutting down on. Dipper might be winning a very large pot here, as Dipper looks for, he's contemplating a lead, maybe. It'd be highly unconventional, but
it is Dipper.
I think we'll see a check back here from Thomas. I'd be really interested to see what he comes with. SBR is about just over half. Thomas has got to think most. Oh, he's going to move all in. I love this. Dipper's going to be absolutely in the blender here. Goodness me, I'm not sure how many time banks Dipper's got left. I can't see any behind that stack.
No, I don't think he's got any. He's not going to call it.
Oh wait, no. If we look at the next to the next to the shot clock,
yeah, behind the actual shot clock,
we can see 4 or 5 time back. Oh no, there's some behind the stack.
He's hiding them.
I
Dipper,
think-
get him out the front.
What a tough spot Tom's put Dipper in. This is a hand in which we're finally we're Thomas has won most of those chips in all in confrontations, but now we're seeing why Thomas Ward is top 3 in the New Zealand all-time money list. As another time bank goes in, Dipper's trying to sniff this one out.
Yeah, as indicated there, those time bank chips are the ones that have already been taken, the ones behind the box, but he's got some hidden behind those greens. We just don't know how many.
It's an interesting bluff. I feel like a lot of the King Jacks and King Queens, I feel like could potentially fold the turn. We block those hands when we choose to bluff this, so I think really this is basically designed to get Dipper off exactly what he's got. Ace 4, Ace 2, Ace 9. What a tough call. What an incredible spot Tom's put Dipper in here. I think nearly every time bank's going to be used. Could Dipper sniff this out? He looks very inquisitive.
He's not going to.
No.
Oh.
You slow rolled you, Harvey. Nah, he puts it in. What a bluff from Tom. Jordan Westmorland gives Thomas Sword the nod of approval there. Dipper's not a folder. We've known that in the last 12 months of playing against him.
No, see, I don't reckon Dipper folds that at midnight. I just think it's part of the timing around this event. He's too fresh. Have a look, he looks like a... It looks like a preppy. He's got the sweater over his... This is not the Dipper we know.
Let's just tune in and see if there's any post-hand analysis from Dipper.
It's raining hard, don't worry.
I nearly did it.
5, yep, and blinds up his hand. 125.
I nearly did it, I think was the quote.
That's about as much as you're going to get.
What do you have? No.
Thomas giving absolutely nothing away about his holding there. Of course, they'll find out in about half an hour's time.
4 raise, 500.
Love that from you, Josh. That could be your next business idea, Harvey. Quotes from... T-shirt quotes from Dipper.
9 fold and 1 fold.
I don't think Dipper folds this at midnight. And you're probably right. Actually, could be a never truer word was never said.
It's too fresh.
What? Oh, yeah.
Aces again for Jordan Westmorland.
Everyone just punts it in and they can get it over with.
True.
500. 2-5 raise, 500.
This is spot in which the table now knows Jordan does have those lighter opens in his range off this stack. We saw the ace 7-0, and we also saw the king 6 of diamonds, but now we've got the aces. We don't really pick up anything else. As we get a dealer change, Taylor onto the feature table. Well known for finishing off tournaments extremely quickly. The story goes, if you're a tournament director and you want to go home early, you just get Taylor onto the table and it's all over pretty quickly.
Just waiting for Josh to hop into the chat here. He's mentioned that Taylor's partner Sam was probably up all night crying. And we already know that Josh is a big Tottenham Hotspur fan. He would have been very happy last night. As Dipper pushes the rest of his chips in, under the gun, Queen Jack off.
Here we go.
3 o'clock now, guys, with the double stack.
5 call.
It is a 150
call.
for the 60k start stack.
Dipper's going to be flipping for his tournament life.
We have the Dragons Jam starting.
The fake play. Yeah, it's going this way. It's too fakey.
Of course.
Take a spade.
Fake flip.
We have an all in the call in the opening event.
Very common term in poker, and Jordan's noted that this is probably on the faker flippier side. None of those outs have been folded for Dipper.
2 of clubs. And the river is a king.
All right, well done, guys.
And out goes the Dipper. Taylor sits down and eliminates a player straight away.
Unbelievable. That was, I'm surprised it took 2 hands and not 1, let's be honest. It's so hard for Dipper to call in that spot versus Tom.
He's going to see it on the stream very quickly,
He's going to
isn't
see
he?
it in about 20 minutes' time.
And then later on, guys, we do have the Turbo Terminator.
I don't know what he
with $7 worth of bounties.
I just know
Again,
that
Dipper, great run.
$30K
Played
starts
very,
now.
very
That
well
starts at
and entertained us. Probably entertained us a little more last night when it was a little bit more talkative, but
another reminder,
he's always a loss to the table because you know it's going to get a bit chatty and a bit fun, but
a lovely start from the Voco.
we've got a couple of guys here who,
You do want a hot cabinet
maybe in other terms, head down, bum up. They're very much into their game, not giving very much away, not a heap of chat.
No. I mean, there's not many people that will call there. Let's be honest.
Oh.
It's just like it's just a spot in which Dipper's going to see it in 20 minutes, and he's busted a couple of hands later. He's obviously going to be quite upset, but you know he's in the mix in every big tournament. Dipper, he's a recreational player, very successful businessman, second in the APL Millions 5K. Got countless APT trophies, won the grind at the last series, just matches it with the best.
I have like 5.9
at every series. And he's going to come away with 4th in the opening event of the TLPT. It's one of the greats of Australian poker.
I must have, 11 2.
Big pay jump now too, mate. Up to the last 3.
60,000 is nothing to shy away at, Harvey.
And then third to second. It's
Yeah.
another 40 odd. And then obviously we bang up to 200k up the top.
Kahle does still have 50% of the chips in play, but the stacks have flattened out. It's anyone's game here. 3 well-accomplished, very experienced players at the table. Kahle Burns obviously is going to feel like he's got the edge here with 50% of the chips in play. I love these spots here. You know, a spot where we could go either way and we get to see how Kahle proceeds.
Very unlucky. Kang obviously lost with Jack.
It's amazing, just free content available on the internet.
10 seconds. C4 raise. 1
As he does come with 3-bet.
600. 5 fold. 1.6.
Tom weighing up his options here, and they appear to be fold or all in. Tom knows how light Kahle's going to be. Having both of these players covered, be surprised. I mean,
4, 3.
it is very tough to
It's a
actually
fold.
put those chips in. Wouldn't be surprised to have seen him go either way, but he's already frustrated. Kahle seemed to have lightened up a little bit here.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen this.
No.
All three of them, which is interesting. They're getting to that really high money side and they're loosening up a bit as opposed to the other way around.
Well, we've locked up what 85k now. You know,
I get that, but I also know that there's a pretty big difference between 100 odd K and 200 odd K.
that's true.
I'd be crapping my pants in this position, to be honest. I don't think I'd even be able to talk.
No, that's what makes these guys so good. Just forget about the money and do their thing. It's going to be probably a pretty rare blind versus blind confrontation between Jordan Westmorland and Thomas. You know, Kahle's going to be raising significant percentage of hands on the button. I don't think we'll be seeing this too often.
1 check.
So Thomas opts to check for some deception. Got the relative nuts on this board without holding. Just hard to call. Check flop. Check pre-flop. Apologies. Got to start betting now.
1 bet. 425. 425.
Jordan not messing around.
Well, it was just absolutely nothing for him. That check on the flop there. Thomas hoping Jordan hits a piece of it. Try and keep him in.
Yeah. Yeah, a very good hand to check for deception. We've got those backdoor diamonds as well. Our stack, of course, worth a lot of real money. We do have the nuts on that board. You're not wrong. $53,000 jump.
It's a pretty hand. It's knocked out many a player. King Queen suited.
I've raised 500. 1 fold.
This time, though.
4 fold.
They're a bit looser, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. It's all changed a little bit now Dipper's left the table. Kahle not wanting to give too much information away to Dipper after the hand, but
Maybe
seems
Dipper's
to
just such an intimidating character.
Can
Scary
be.
bloke. He's the antithesis of that.
These blind versus blind confrontations are really getting into the weeds of how No Limit Hold'em works, especially when we're three-handed at the end of a tournament. Really keen to see how both of these guys proceed because so experienced. These blind versus blind confrontations are the wild, wild west.
Heads up.
Top pair there for Kahle. Interestingly, he checks it.
Got to start putting chips in the middle of a Kahle, I would have thought. Be surprised to not see it.
I mean, I'm surprised I don't see a bet on the flop there, to be honest. But I know what you're saying. But as a recreational player, as soon as you feel you're in front, you either want to just take it down, or that's the way I would feel. But I know exactly what you're saying, and also the circumstances we're in.
This is interesting, Jordan, a non-believer here with Queen High. We have a very interesting river coming up here. If Jordan decides to call the turn, depending on what size Kahle comes with, he may not be able to fold the river. Queen high, definitely on the spicy side. I think Cal's going to think he's got a clear value bet. He's going large. This looks like full pot from Kahle Burns.
A quick fold. Don't even have to count out the chips there.
Interesting. I'll have to chat to Kahle about that hand. It's just great to see him getting do his thing.
Oh, there you go. The check on the flop absolutely pays off there.
It does. I mean, obviously,
chips.
yeah. I think no backdoor clubs there for Jordan. He obviously just fold the flop. We did have the King of Spades working if we're Kahle Burns as well, but I mean, there's such complicated spots these blind versus blind confrontations, as I said. So it's really hard to get into the mind of the best and what they're thinking. Full pot, interesting there on the river as well. But Jordan, a non-believer on the turn, but his hand couldn't face the pressure of a full pot on the river. We did predict that we wouldn't be seeing many small blind versus big blind hands between Thomas and Jordan, because Kahle's going to be raising a lot of this type of stuff on the button. I mean, he did have the 3 deuce before. And I couldn't agree more with that. Once we see Kahle do something, it's likely the correct thing. I think flop can be check or bet, of course, but obviously if it's a 51-49 type of decision, Kahle's going to be choosing the 51%.
No, sure, and I suppose this is why the recreational player, which I, very much in that category, is such an education to watch this sort of stuff, because I can tell you from a recreation player point of view, when you go in with a pretty junk hand and you hit the top pair on the flop, we're betting.
Of course.
That's the way we play.
Yeah.
But there's obviously a hell of a lot more to it than that.
Yeah. King of Spades is definitely an important card for sure, and I feel like maybe if we're holding another suit, hand requires a little bit more protection. But he is the best, so whatever he did was right, and we can move on. Interesting here. Yeah, 22 effective. Wonder if Kahle comes with raise or just jam. And could check too. These spots are so interesting. This just comes with jam. Yeah, definitely one of those spots where we choose pot on the river and think, well, maybe I never would have done that, but maybe I should start doing it because Kahle's doing it. But definitely interesting once the deuce comes on the turn. I'm not sure full pot's something we'd see too often, but obviously Kahle's got his reasons for it. As he picks up pocket queens here, just want to see what Jordan's effective stack is to see how we proceed. Comes with 3x. Jordan waking up with the worst hand in No Limit Hold'em.
Only. I go back in time. Win. That's the nuts back right.
Oh yeah.
Creeping upwards of 60% of the chips in play is Kahle Burns.
I did not vote him back.
Looking to add a Tlpt trophy to that very large trophy cabinet that holds at least 2 bracelets, I think.
No.
Someone wants to correct me on that one.
Wasn't me. Oh, one of them was.
Obviously also a winner of the 100K at Crown over the Aussie Millions many years ago. I was there for that. For a cool 1.3 million, and
500.
he's just been doing it so well for so long. Jordan Westmorland does have a decision. I feel like we'll be putting in Queen Jack suited in nearly always. Let's just see what we do here. We do up for fold. Now Tom has a decision. Such an interesting dynamic when Tom and Jordan have basically identical stacks, being worth so much real money.
One check.
Be surprised to see Kahle check this one, but let's see how he proceeds.
Four bet. 350.
Do have that ace of spades working if we're Thomas, but not sure we're deep enough. We have the best hand sometimes, but it is rare. Still comes with call. We do have that backdoor spade working. It's getting dicey.
One check.
I wonder if... usually we look to barrel these type of boards when we have hands like 7s, 6s and 8s, but with this 4-liner to a 10, it really changes things. It's quite a dynamic card. He may come with check.
10 seconds.
I also feel like if we're gonna fire a second barrel, this could be the hand we do it with. He does come with the turn barrel. As I said, I really feel like 6s and 7s are a hand we'd really look to do this with. Kahle agrees. Thomas really is getting into the weeds now with ace-4. No spade on the turn. It's so rare we have the best hand. Comes with fold. That's what happens when we decide to call the turn there. I know we have the backdoor spade, but I feel like potentially we need to be a little bit deeper on that board, but obviously one of New Zealand's best. I mean, it could be a turn where we look to check jam a spade. If it does come.
Make your way to the tables. We will get underway in just.
We do have that spade in our hand, obviously. It's one of the main reasons to proceed.
Head across to your table.
But we do know nearly always we're facing that turn probe, that turn barrel, because it is Kahle Burns that's in position. And Tom will be putting a significant amount of chips into the pot here, but he does come with call. He's going to let Kahle... Ooh, it's going to be interesting. This could... Yeah. This could be a hand we look to check back as well, but we did jam the ace-4 suited before. That's what Thomas is relying on. And he does come. He just sniffs it out, Kahle.
Heads up.
Yeah. I mean, a hand plays really well post once the small blind limps, but... King would be a very spicy turn if we do get there.
One bet. 250.
Player in the long run. Obviously, you need to know how to lead certain paths, but
You know, Kahle knows that Tommy's going to have some traps here, and her hand does play really well post. We'll be seeing a turn for sure. Kahle's managed to sniff this out so far. We have seen a turn, but we're just waiting on that to catch up on stream. I wonder if Kahle starts bluffing. A lot of these gutters on boards such as this, we'll see our hands start to bluff. He might just take this one to a river. He does. Tom might just try and get this one to showdown. Interesting to see what Kahle chooses. He probably knows his hand is nearly never good. Now starting to contemplate how to proceed. Tom desperate to get the ace high to showdown here. I mean, I feel like we do have some 10x that starts to bet for value once it's gone check, check. And he does check behind.
Ace queen.
Just too good, Kahle. Sniffs that out. Not even Not even sure once diamonds bricks off. We don't have a diamond in our
All right,
hand.
players, for the 15K main event,
If
take
we're
it
time,
away.
if it does call the river.
You get underway.
A little bit.
It's a fake flip. It's just so bad. They are no chance. That was demolition last night. Anybody follows?
One raise, 500.
I think Tottenham are a very good side.
Good side, but United are horrendous. They actually played better when they had a play set up.
So yeah, the term fake flip does come from hands such as Queen Jack off. A lot of the times, you know, 9s and 10s are good enough to get in for, you know, say a really large 20, 30 bigs or whatever, and we find ourselves up against, you know, if we've got 9s and we're up against King 10 offsuit, or we've got 10s and we're up against Queen Jack, you know, 8s, we're somehow up against King 9 suited. These are the type of hands that we call fake flips. And I'm not sure if you would talk to most players around the trap that the fakest hand, the King 10-0, the Queen Jack-0, the Jack 10-0s, they tend to win those fake flips. As Kahle picks up queens again here. As we said, wouldn't mind people trying to guesstimate what percentage of hands we're raising here from the button if we're Kahle, but it's got to be upwards of 60 to 70. Queens obviously.
One, 4.
Got a really nice hand to defend here if we're Thomas. But I feel like we will be seeing a turn.
Okay.
Nearly always. I'd love to see what size Kahle opts here. We don't have that heart working in our hand either. Change our size, but Kahle's opted for 1/3 on most boards.
400.
And comes with that again, just under. Thomas can't fold his hand just yet. He has the best hand a lot of the time. Also can improve. And he does. It'd be interesting to see if we could potentially find some lead here. We could look to lead some backdoor spades and flop flush draws as well. He does come with lead. I love to see this. A lot of the time we're going to find a bluff here, but this time we've got it. Yeah, it's not a turn we're ever going to be raising if we're Kahle. We need to keep in some of those flush draws. You know, we might look to lead a hand like Queen Jack as well, because it's a turn we're never getting raised on. We set the price on the turn.
10 seconds.
No, we're always calling this. No, I don't think so. Don't think so. It does depend on what the river is.
Oh, it's going in on the river.
That's unbelievable. Just,
We'll
we'll just pump the brakes a little because it is the Queen of Hearts now.
We are getting underway as soon as you arrive.
SBR is just over 1. I'm not sure Tom comes with all in, but this is...
Big one bet, 1.6.
Yeah, I feel like this bet is designed to be able to fold. Kahle, we do have that Queen of Hearts working. What a crazy river! I mean, there's Kahle trying to look a little suspect here, but he's going to come with all in, and Thomas Ward is going to be sick to his stomach, but I feel like he might be able to get away with this just out of the function of the fact that that is the Queen of Hearts and not the Queen of Clubs. You know, he just had too much to jam, I feel. I love how Tom's played this. He's come with lead on turn, a spot that we just spoke about half an hour ago. We don't see it enough. We don't see it a lot.
2 seconds.
Here he comes. Tom's sick. I feel like we still have 10 bigs once we fold, and when we choose to go with this line, it allows us to be able to get away from the river jam, and it's just a spot I feel like is nearly not. He puts every single time bank he's got in under the. Obviously, you do get them back if they're not used, but he is sick. Let's just have a listen to starting to mouth out something. The decks really helped us out today in the commentary booth and late last night. If the problem we've got here, if we're Thomas Ward, is that he's run into one of the only people in the room that could find a bluff. Where do they come from, though? If you want to chime into the chat, let me know. Maybe. Oh, I don't feel like it comes from spades. I'm not sure what one heart hand calls the turn as well. Ace 10 with the ace of hearts. Maybe this is a bluff. Ace X of hearts, yeah. Ace 10 with the ace of hearts, maybe. I also feel like ace 6. No, we're not bluffing that. Really trying to think about these bluffs in real time. There's not many combos of such. A lot of those ace X hearts hand do fold the river to this, do fold the turn to this lead, but he's gonna bin it. Maybe they don't. What a fold from Thomas Ward.
Come on, do it.
Nah, Jordan trying to coax out the show from Kahle. Doesn't get it.
Oh, that's so good.
Amazing. I guess, you know, a spot in which is so under-bluffed. I mean, some comments coming in that maybe we have some king X of heart hands that call the turn. I wonder if we turn those into bluffs, or maybe we just have those ace X combos as well. What an interesting spot. We don't have the answer for you in the booth, but Kahle Burns certainly would. There was just a time he had the stone cold nuts, basically. What an incredible hand that was. What an insane river. Thomas Ward's sick, but makes the correct fold. I love the turn lead. I love the river size.
5 call, 250.
Interesting limping strategy in being employed here by Jordan Westmorland. I think that's a hand in which we realised why Tom is second on that all-time money list for the New Zealand.
Going to go to a break shortly. I think we need it after that.
I love these really big hands that eventuate, because the chat can be quiet sometimes, and then you realise how many people are watching when they chime in on the commentary on the hand.
325.
5 bet, 325, 325.
This is just an interesting spot here, I feel. See, the limping strategy employed by Jordan Westmorland might backfire, because once we decide to call the small blind with 9-6 of clubs and we flop this flush draw, it's going to be nearly impossible to not move all in. Thomas Ward does that, and we'll get the fold from Jordan Westmorland. Such high-level play from all three guys here. I can't recall a final table at the APT where many people have employed that limping strategy at sub-15 bigs. It is a thing, just not a thing that we see often. And that's why it's so good to have these players here.
I haven't even spun it down there. I mean, he's just well chilling, to be honest.
This is great to watch. It's hard to believe play of this quality is free content on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
You want bluff, right?
It's Thomas Ward. We'll be moving all in here, I dare say.
C1, all in. 4 Voco.
Oh,
Good luck, buddy.
Good luck, buddy.
Cool.
9s versus 3s. Tom has come from behind. His helpman is in front. He's won nearly every all-in for the last 2 days. Can the pocket 3s find it?
Thomas and who's Thomas and
He isn't covered though, so we'll still be three-handed if
I'm in
Jordan
the blue
Westmorland
seat, though.
Thomas versus
I'm
Jordan.
in the blue
pocket
seat.
9s.
Thomas has pocket 3s and Jordan has pocket 9s. We have the flop. Flops. 7 of clubs.
You know
5
the ball
clubs.
just ripping straight
No
on.
clubs working. We got some backdoor straight opportunities with the pocket 3s.
Asking for 4 diamonds.
That's all?
Turns and jack of clubs.
That's one of the worst
Oh,
cards in
one
the
outer.
deck, if
Come
not the
in.
worst, other
one
than a
outer,
9.
one outer.
We've seen Thomas do it before.
Oh,
Here's the set, but it's a flush. It is the 3 of clubs.
Well, it was the wrong 3 that was left in. That's
I
right.
don't think. I feel like Thomas thinks he's out, but he's not.
No, he's still got a tiny.
Yeah.
He's got a
No,
big
it's
blind.
starting
A
again.
couple of big blinds. Oh, this is just craziness, man.
The journey of Thomas Ward's still alive. Taylor's just going to count out our stacks here, but from us in the booth, Tom should have 2.5 big blinds remaining.
175.
Which, if you've been watching for the last couple of days, 2.5 big blinds for Thomas Ward is a pile of chips.
That's right.
It is a pile of
That's
chips. Could we see another epic spin up from Tom? Yeah, I reckon Tom's got about 600k behind here, but Taylor will confirm for us.
I think you're right, because our guys back here in the production do an amazing calculation job, even ahead of the dealers. So
Yeah.
it's
It is automated though, so every now and then we just would like to confirm, but
Yep.
I feel like he's going to have one big blind left behind because he is all in the big blind. Let's just confirm and see what our graphics come up with.
well, he'd have to be pretty close with the ante. Looks like he's got
I think 6.
2 or 3 chips in his left hand.
2.7.
Very big real money situation coming up here. $84,000 for third,
Only you'd say that.
130 for second, and 200,000 up top. So Jordan Westmorland looking at a really big jump here. If Tom gets knocked out, let's see what proceeds. Jordan's going to have to be so tight in a spot like this. Here we go.
Yep, nice hand to pick up when you're all in.
Here he goes.
$56,000 jump here for the players. Let's see what happens.
Despite the 9 there, Thomas still in trouble. He's only got a few outs up in the top corner there. That is not one of them.
One of the greatest runs in Australian poker has come to an end.
I won the pot.
Who could forget? 0.3 of a big blind, 4 or 5 off the money.
Should I?
He spun that up
Yeah,
and had
maybe
the
one
chip
of
lead right on the money
it's just
bubble.
it's awkward.
Back down again to 0.6 of a big blind, spun that back up. And he's going to walk away with one of the most incredible $85,000 scores you'll ever see.
Congrats to you. Okay, we're going to have a very short break. This was going to be a break, but we're obviously just getting ready for Heads Up now. Craig Abernathy going to join you after this little break. About 5 minutes till we reset the table. We'll see you then.
153 now?
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, it was like 18 seconds.
Okay.
Right, as I said, I didn't pull it back. And then 50 in the middle, yeah?
125.
Purples?
Getting rid of the purples? Okay. Okay.
Alright.
Seat 7 calls, 250,000. Option. And seat 4 text. Can we get 4 checks? Seven bets, 250,000.
I can't see the timer or anything.
Well, yeah,
It's like
we're
gone.
just getting in.
Is the battery dying?
Four checks. Seven bets, 900,000. 900.
It's definitely an important part for sure, and I feel like maybe if I had another suit, provide a little bit more protection. There, so give it right and we can move on.
10 seconds. And seat 4 call.
Apologies, guys. We are back for what could be a epic heads-up battle between Kahle Burns and Jordan Westmorland. Of course, Thomas Ward's insane run came to an end. So I'm joined in the booth by Craig Abernathy. Kahle Burns with a significant chip lead here over Jordan Westmorland.
Morning, Jinxie.
Morning. Of course, if you're just tuning in, $200,000 up top, $135,000 to the second place getter.
And we lost Thomas, I see. His run came to an end, so
10 seconds.
still an amazing run.
It's going to be, I hope we can get, I hope we're going to be able to clip that all together, because it was just insane to watch, really. It's not something you'd ever see once, let alone twice. And that's one of the best $85,000 scores he's ever going to have, I think.
I love seeing all these chips heads up too, like
Oh,
they haven't coloured them all up.
We're too busy yapping on. We might have a large pop brewing here on the river as we're just catching up on the action. I came into the booth halfway through the hand as Jordan decided to check this one back. Not going to like what he sees. I'm assuming that turn size must have been large.
Go for full greed, huh? I was thinking. Yeah.
It's good to see Kahle. He's got a 2-to-1 chip lead here, a little bit over. It's good to see, him showing a bit of emotion.
153.
Doesn't really give too much away at the table, as we've seen. It's Phoebe.
I was like, please, Shaq, bro.
It's got such great card sense. Kahle, like the King 9 suited hand before, could have easily lost a lot more chips. Has top pair heads up. Knows he's dead.
And Phoebe, she's very experienced heads up lately, even more recently too.
Yes.
dealer.
Winner of the WPT ladies event. Also another WPT final table in the same series. And second in the King's main event a couple of months ago as well. So Thatcher made a joke yesterday that if these dealers keep winning events, Catherine won the ladies event as well. Jacob Fall has a WPT ring. If these dealers keep winning, you and I are going to be pitching cards pretty soon.
Yeah, they're very good dealers. Like, it's amazing. And even we were watching the PLO the other night, and Princess and Zara, they, just the extra skill you need to work out the pot, and they don't even miss a beat. Taylor Pickles as well.
Princess is an unbelievable dealer.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got a lot of those dealers. We've got the heroes on at the moment. So many dealers in the room can deal all the games.
Yeah, if I have to pitch cards, we're in trouble. Probably in as much trouble as Kahle in this.
The backdoor heart's working. It's pretty thin at the moment. As Jordan Westmorland turns the stone cold Nutter Butters.
7 jacks.
Nice little check there.
A little bit of an interesting stat given to us on the break that as experienced and as incredible player as Jordan Westmorland is, only one recorded victory over many, many millions of dollars of cashes. Obviously just coming fourth in the BetMGM Grand Championship not that long ago for 200,000 US. But only one recorded win so looking for his second ever live tournament win here is Jordan Westmorland.
Yeah, well, he's got the slight chip disadvantage, but as we know, in heads up, so he's definitely going to win this pot, so takes it down. He's got a little bit of work to do here, but heads up can change in the flip of a card, so this could be second.
So one recorded win we are confirming, and it was right here in Australia. So hard to win a live poker tournament. It's actually incredible.
Yeah. Even in a smaller sort of field.
Oh, of course. This is going to be great to watch. Two of the best to do it. Playing heads up.
7 raised. 600.
Jordan Westmorland, an American, and of course Kahle Burns from not such a small country town in Victoria, but Kahle Burns being from Geelong in Victoria.
I'm a fan of his haircut, actually.
4 jacks.
I think I might have to.
Kahle did have long brown curly hair when I first come across him.
Yep.
And 7 jacks.
I've seen some old photos of the boys, Kahle and Adrian Attenborough I mentioned.
Adrian hasn't changed a bit. He had that beard there for a little bit, but still looks exactly the same.
Saw one of Didier from an Origin one too, from back in the day, 10 years ago. And he had the long locks.
We have a bit of an interesting pot developing here. Jordan Westmorland turning the open-ended straight draw after raising pre, deciding to check the flop. Kahle with second pair. We might have a little spice brewing here. Let's see how the boys proceed. Jordan looks to be coming with around 2/3 pot. Looks to be about 1.1 million.
7 bets. 800.
800, sorry, that was stacks of 4.
175,000.
Just over half. Kahle's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and imagine that if Jordan doesn't improve, then he's going to have 5 high, so he's going to have to go for it on the river, I'd say. So
10 seconds.
Yeah, especially after raising pre flop as well. These heads up spots are really interesting. I mean, once we've decided to choose this line, if we're Jordan Westmorland, we don't get to the river with too many worse hands. Obviously, we'd probably prefer to have some type of diamond, but even those flush draws probably bet the flop. It's going to be interesting to see how Jordan proceeds here. We literally don't get to this spot with a worse hand basically ever. It's going to be really tough for Jordan to not bluff. It's an interesting river though. But Jordan does have that look in his eye in which he may just decipher this as a card that he needs to fire, and it's coming. And it's coming north of 70% pot.
2.2 million.
2.2. And a call. Snap call from Kahle. Yeah, Jordan just, especially after raising pre with a 5-3, nearly couldn't possibly have a worse hand. Usually when that happens, we're going to have to fire a second barrel.
I just saw something I really like that Jordan just did. He bluffed, and he got caught bluffing, and he just showed his card straight away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's no need to be embarrassed about bluffing. It's part of the game. And he just got called, flipped the cards over, and Kahle will see the good news and rake in the pot, you know. These professionals, that's how they do it.
I mean, it's not really about the fact he bluffed off maybe $20,000 or $30,000 in real money. It's the fact that this is a spot that he knew he needed to bluff. He got called, and that's it. That's all he cares about, and he just moves on to the next spot.
He's not embarrassed about it. It's just he played the hand well. It's just, and if Kahle didn't turn that river that other nine, it would have been a much tougher call.
Yeah, the nine of diamonds makes the hand really interesting. Not really adept in
round number at the start, right?
Neither player had a diamond.
You got a round buy-in.
No, but it's very hard spots to work out. But Jordan quite short now after that failed river bluff. The boys are just talking about it.
Let's see.
It's going to be so hard to run Kahle down with the amount of chips he's got now, and this could be nearly a mandatory all-in as we just get an update on Jordan Westmorland stack. Comes with raise. So what effective stacks are we working here with Craig?
Today we've got about 11 bigs.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, I thought Jordan was a little shorter than that. 2.2 million on the river in that previous hand. We'll be chopping this up nearly every time. Sometimes we don't though.
That's right.
All right, we have
last time I was heads up, I had King Queen, and
in the heads up
ran into Nathaniel Hutton's Ace Jack.
We have King Queen versus King Queen.
If he had King Queen,
King Queen is the risk.
I got 2 free-rolls.
The flop is deuce of spades, deuce of diamonds, jack
chopping her up.
Hearts. 5 clubs.
Other result.
6 of hearts. King Queen wins.
Chop, chop.
Wait. We chopped the ante.
Brutal. That's cool.
So does Jordan actually lose chips in that hand?
Who did you lose?
I think he does because they have to. They chop the ante.
Yeah, that's true.
So Jordan actually loses. Jordan actually loses chips. I'm pretty sure that's right.
I guess it's just like if it was the other way around upwards.
Yeah.
Kahle's just realised that now too.
Yes, he loses half a big one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the double stack starting at 3 o'clock. That is a 150 buy-in, 60k start stack,
6-7 calls.
1 re-entry, 20-minute blinds. If you are interested in the double stack, head to the red road, jump on
This will be
board.
going in.
6-4 is all in.
Yeah, and you see where's Jordan just calling that. You don't give, very, very rarely will you see a walk heads up with big blind antes in play.
Well, there should never be walks. But I feel, I think obviously we're getting into the weeds there a little bit. But once that big blind ante is in play, We've got to be playing 100% of our hands. It makes things really difficult when we have 12 big blinds, though. So you wouldn't be surprised to see these guys fold as. You wouldn't be surprised to see some folds, but these guys know that with that big blind ante, basically all cards need to be played as Kahle's really getting good distribution of heads up here. King, Queen, Ace 7, pocket 5s, this will be going in.
Standard jam.
Oh, interesting here from Jordan. He's going to have some type of decision on his hands. He's thinking about it. I don't know here. Jordan will end up making the correct decision, whatever that is.
Seems to be a bit dicey. He doesn't know how good a shape he is, I guess, in the 50-50.
Yeah. Just too much hand for 10 bigs. 11. Jordan decides to put her in. You're going to have the best hand some of the time, and we're going to be in good shape against hands like this from Kahle. If the pocket 5s hold, we will have our opening TLPT event champion.
Jordan's at rest.
This is an $80,000 flip or something.
Flops. 8, 8, 6.
I feel like he does have that 6 working and a backdoor heart, backdoor flush draw.
Turns a 9.
I mean, we nearly got half the deck here if we're Jordan Westmorland, and if he hits it, he'll be right back in. Kahle's still in front. We'll see a river. That is not what Jordan Westmorland was looking for. Turned half the deck in outs.
Congratulations to Kahle Burns.
But congratulations, Kahle Burns, one of Australia's best to ever do it. Hall of Famer, bracelet winner, adds a TLPT trophy to his trophy cabinet all the way from Geelong to Brisbane, around the world and back. And that's going to be a $200,000 score to Kahle Burns.
Yeah, and great to see him here too. It's great for him to support the series.
It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, the calibre of players we've got here in Brisbane this week is amazing. So Kahle, obviously one of the top pros in Australia, and he's just shown once again why that's the case.
I think too, we were just credited to so much high-level poker. Who could forget when the stream started yesterday? Malcolm Trainer on Mo's left, 2 recent bracelet winners. Kahle Burns basically holding the chip lead ever since he came onto our feature table all the way to the end. And that's how it's going to go most of the time when Kahle's got all those chips. But that's going to be the end of our opening event here. We'll be with you later on in the day with the 15K TLPT event. We're going to have all of those same names here. We'll try and get some new names in the commentary box for you as well. What an amazing start here to this APT series, pairing with the TLPT, with the quality of players that we've got. And we'll be able to put up in our socials in the next couple of hours when we're going to be jumping back on stream. For now, it's a little break for us, and we'll see you later on. Thanks for joining us, Craig.
Yep, no worries. See you.